Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. One of our favorite monthly guests has stopped in, and it's the organization, but even one of our earlier guests from when we were back on our old set.
Right.
It's Cherie Milton. She's from Agrace Hospice Center right here in Fitchburg,
yes,
USA. How you doing?
I'm very well, thanks.
And you said you really like the set.
I do. It's very bright, attractive.
Nobody's ever called it attractive, so we certainly appreciate that. And welcome back, of course.
Thank you.
And today what we're talking about is a new grief center that's opening up right here in Fitchburg. So without further ado, tell us what we've got going on.
Well, for many years, Agrace has supported community members through the loss of loved ones, even if they weren't our patients. We've given a lot of grief support and grief support groups, and so we've outgrown the area that we have at the Agrace facility in Fitchburg, and so we're going to open an Agrace Grief Support Center separate from our facility, but it's still in Fitchburg. It's going to be close by, and we hope to reach a lot of people that are going through a hard time.
Let's talk about a little bit about the grief services that you offer.
Sure. We offer individual time with folks. We don't call it therapy, although we are licensed clinicians, because we can't do long-term counseling with folks. But sometimes, quite often, all they need is 2 or 3 times to meet individually. We offer grief support groups that are open and free for both adults as well as families and children.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And if somebody wants to get, again, it's not necessarily maybe a patient, but wants maybe some help with grief counseling or to talk, how can they go about doing that?
Really simple ways to call our main number, 276-4660. That's the main Agrace number, and just ask for a community grief counselor. And myself or my colleagues will answer, and we'll take it from there.
Perfect. And with the move over, when are we expecting this move to happen?
August 9th, we're going to open the doors, and the space is going to be beautiful. It'll be designed for children to have a lot of free area, a lot of fun parts and therapeutic activities. Yeah, August 9th.
It's going to be a good time.
Yes, it is.
How about this? Maybe walk through a scenario of somebody dealing with
Sure.
grief, like maybe what's a good time to maybe pick up on the service? Maybe you don't know.
That's such a great question. There's 2 things. So first of all, if a person is really needing grief support, but they get involved really early and it's a group or they're mixing it up with others, that might be a little difficult because you tend to hear other stories and it gets to be heavy and they take all that on. So at about 2 months, 3 months after a death is a really good time to connect with a grief support center. And quite often, it's also the time when they're really starting to have the reality set in.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also groups I see here, the support group. So how does the group piece work versus maybe one-on-one?
Groups are so great at helping others feel like they're not alone. When we grieve, we tend to feel isolated and we don't want to burden everybody, but you get to come to a support group and you hear someone across the room talking and saying things that you think, wow, that's me too. I feel that, or I thought that. And so the group members support each other as they tell their own stories and kind of share that journey.
That's awesome. Well, let's quickly talk about donations for whether it's for Agrace or for the new grief center. How can people donate?
They can donate by calling, again, our main number and talking with someone at our foundation, or they can walk in donations, and that's so appreciated by the community. So much of what we do in grief support isn't at all generating any revenue.
Yep.
Easy for me to say. And so donations are always appreciated.
Awesome. Well, Cherie, I appreciate you stopping by. Give us an update. Can't wait to come out to the new center.
Thanks. Can't wait to have you.
All right. Perfect. We're going to take a quick break. We'll wrap up the show. A little PB&J next right here on Talking Fitchburg.